I want you to visualize this with me. See all of the work that we done over the years.
When we push this handle, wash our hands and walk away, most of us are relieved. But in reality, the process of waste management has just begun. I've always been fascinated knowing what happens from flush to finish, and so I visited the Rodney Bay sewage treatment plant to meet with an unsuspecting lady who spoke almost entirely in thick scientific terms. But before I can get the first question in, she sent me back to the drawing board. Every home and business use water and generates wastewater. Once the water is poured down the toilet, it travels down a lateral into the main pipe where gravity begins the process of the flow towards the treatment plant.
The waste from our homes, after it's flushed or via the sinks or the showers, it travels through pipes that's connected to the networking system, and those pipes are run through manholes with the use of pumping stations before it is pumped to the treatment plant.
The Rodney Bay Sewage Treatment Plant manages waste within Rodney Bay and the Glossary region.
The first process is the inflow of our waste coming into the facility, and this is the influent channel. At the influent channel, we have pre-treatment processes taking place via the use of vertical bars, or what we call a bar screen. And this process involves the removal of large debris, that is plastics, cloth, before it goes on to the further treatment processes.
The wastewater then travels into two separate ponds where settling takes place. This is where fine particles sink to the bottom and form sludge. The water from these ponds then flow into pond 3A and 3B.
And these are facultative ponds. I say facultative because they consist of 3 zones. That is, the zone closer near the surface is called the aerobic zone. The zone at the bottom is the anaerobic zone, and the zone to the mid-depth of the pond is called the facultative zone. These 2 ponds, 3 and 3B, they run in parallel, and they have a total volume capacity of 55,000 cubic meters. So here basically we have organic soluble matter being decomposed or oxidized, that is with the use of aerobic bacteria in the wastewater.
Ponds 3A and 3B solely focus on biological oxygen demand removal, while pond 4, 5 and 6 deal with pathogen and nutrient removal. This ensures that effluent is safe and conforms with national regulatory standards before disposal into the environment.
From here, the water is tested via our wastewater laboratory to ensure that it complies with land-based LBS, land-based protocols, standards, before it is disposed of into the environment. So basically, we're looking at parameters such as BOD, total suspended solids, our bacteriological content, before we dispose of into the water, or basically our receiving waters.
In St. Lucia, wastewater treatment services are constipated by the lack of financial support from central government. As a result, only 7% of the population living mainly between Castries and Grosley districts have access to one of the 2 public sewer systems. The Castries sewage system is only a collection system with no treatment facility. This has resulted in discharge of raw sewage directly into Castries Harbour. There is a need to move away from traditional approach of doing business to functioning sanitation systems, from collection to conveyance to treatment and reuse, to ensure a more sanitized approach from flush to finish.
I partner with you, come partner with me. the Global Water Partnership Caribbean.